Hey, I'm Mike Jones. I'm the owner here at Riverview Turfworks. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory on this job before we go forward with the video here. The reason I wanted to do that is because this is not a typical job for us. Yes, it's a sod installation. We do those all the time, and we do those just like this one. The reason it's not a typical job is because we had two of the three major issues come up during this job that we're always kind of worried about whenever we do larger projects. So let's get into it. All right, I'm just going to do a voiceover while the video is playing. So we showed up to begin the job as scheduled. The sod was delivered to the property on time and the dirt work was going great. However, what we quickly found out was not great was the quality of the sod. For some reason, the grass had several issues that it shouldn't have. We had installed a couple big rows and they looked fine. We tried to install several more and they were not up to our quality standards. We ended up making the decision to remove some of the sod we had just installed and get it and the uninstalled sod off of the property and bring in almost all new grass. Now, of course, this is not something that we like doing. It isn't even something we've had to do prior to this, but ultimately it is what needed done to give the client a quality end result. Unfortunately, sod isn't something you can just run down to the supermarket and buy off the store shelf. There's a lot of logistics involved. You know, it has to be cut, you got to put it on a truck, you have to deliver it, all that has to be scheduled and done. This took several days to get all this in line and going. We had to work our butts off over the next several days so we could be at the job site when the grass was ready to be installed. Ultimately, we made it happen and we made it work. So that was major setback number one. Now major setback number two is that one of the two workers on this job had an emergency the morning of the install and couldn't make it to the job site. That's okay though. We do these sod installations all the time and we mostly use big rolls and we have the equipment needed to be very efficient. With that being said, the bulk of this job was done on a Saturday if I'm remembering correctly, and it was done by one person. Now we don't like doing that, we never plan on it. However, we are able to make forward progress if absolutely necessary. We usually plan for 3 people to be on the job site. This makes the jobs go by faster and be super efficient. But the job got done, the client loves it, and they have a gorgeous zoysia lawn. One last thing to mention here, this client for this particular job had a firm budget to stay in. That's fine, we're happy to accommodate as much as we can. I had extensive talks with the client prior to estimate approval. What we had both agreed was best was to put their hard-earned money towards as much new grass as possible. So while watching this video, you may see some bare dirt areas around trees, flower beds, and borders. We typically do the tedious work of butting up new sod right up against these areas, but for this project, we put that time and money towards installing new sod, more of it, because this was a larger property and the budget didn't allow for total coverage. You'll notice where we stopped towards the left side of the home, we stopped there because that's ultimately all we could do within the budget. After the job was completed, the client and that cute little puppy you've seen running around loved their new lawn.